to touch upon two specific opportunities with respect to this subject of this session. One is on the industrial value chain and the logistics, specific opportunities where development partners, policy advisors, think tanks, and of course the government may work together to tap the best out of this. And second is also the same, but more on the specific subject of how to accelerate the development of inland waterway transport. So this is based on my experience in ADB with some updates received from my former colleagues. So next slide, please. So first is with respect to industrial value chain and logistics. On this theme, ADB has been facilitating industrial corridor planning and development across Indian states in order to, because we felt that this is the effective means to accelerate the industrial development and accelerating the economic structural transformation with job creation, which is the primary theme of the ADB's country assistance strategy. So this is an integrated approach covering industrial economic corridors, clusters and ecosystems, logistics, and urban agglomeration, and then skills and human resources development. Next slide, please. So with this concept, overall concept in mind, can you move to the next slide? So we have been working on several important economic corridors. By the way, economic corridor initially started by JICA, focusing on the Dhaka-Mumbai industrial corridor. So we also follow this idea essentially. So far, ADB has covered Indian East Coast, and then Indian Northeast Economic Corridor, and in between, ADB also assists the Bangladesh Southwest and the Northwest Economic Corridors. Next slide, please. So this is essentially a sort of approach for integrating economic corridors, and these economic corridor plans both did note the significant opportunities for sub-regional integration. So both Indian side, Northeast, Bangladesh, Northeast side, see the other as an important market to tap. And various potential industries have been identified, listed here. And also it identified important critical logistics systems, infrastructure and the logistics process and so on and so forth have been identified. So this corridor plan provides essential platform, a necessary platform that could be utilized for developing the industrial chains in a collaborative manner between the two countries, by the government, by the private sector. Next slide, please. But given today's subject is more on logistics, I just would like to touch upon the latest progress on India and Bangladesh and point out some specific opportunities. So in case of India, as Bernard mentioned, we are providing a policy-based lending, policy advice plus technical assistance. And India, as covered by many participants here, has already established a very solid framework comprising Gati Shakti National Master Plan. This is providing an integrated infrastructure master plan, really aiming at the modal shift from the roads to more environmental sustainable green modalities like rail and inland waterways. And then second pillar is a national logistics policy. India is aiming to get the logistics performance indicator ranking of 25th by 2030, and so on. And key elements include all the essential elements to strengthen the logistics systems, digital platforms, asset standardization, service benchmarking and improvements, and importantly, exim logistics and procedures, and human resources and so on. So we would say that the progress is quite robust, and in a good mode. And for this, ADB is providing technical assistance together with, I think, GIZ is also providing technical assistance, and World Bank also. Next slide, please. So I think I would like to touch upon the specific opportunities in Bangladesh. Now, they have also launched the National Logistics Policy in April before the change of the government. But this also has a good structure. I think World Bank has assisted. World-class efficient logistics system, and they set out a specific modal shift from, say, less fossil fuel consuming modalities like inland waterways and rails. And then the key elements are also there, like Indian systems. So the specific opportunities I'd like to highlight is the country is still 88th in the Logistic Performance Index. And now there's an opportunity to support the improvement of the various logistics policy elements and through policy reforms. So many panelists mentioned a lot of procedural constraints, 40 days, 60 days. Those are potentially generically addressed by working with the government to make drastic reforms. And another important element is like Gati Shakti Master Plan. There's a huge opportunity for Bangladesh to develop the integrated logistics infrastructure master plan. And for this, there's a great opportunity that potentially JICA, ADB working together to support that this Bangladesh logistics master plan should really reflect the sub-regional integration as an important element. And there's a great scope for making Bangladesh to become the regional gateway to Northeast, to the other part of India, as well as the ASEAN countries, and so on. So beyond that, we should also focus, envision potentially, integrated to, say, a logistics master plan across the South Asia region, as well as integrated to industrial corridor plan across the South Asia, and together with the SASEC. So this is the first subject. Second subject, I just will briefly touch upon the inland waterways. Next slide, please. So inland waterways is seen as, both countries see this as a priority area because it's the least expensive and the less fossil fuel-dependent transport. And also, both countries have developed a reasonable platform to work with. This protocol on inland water transit and the trade is established. And then coastal shipping also provides the framework, a platform where the shippers on both sides can, apply between the two marine ports and the designated river ports. So the system is there, but the next slide, please go to the next slide. This is a protocol port. Next slide, please. So with this framework, the annual cargo volumes are really increasing, but particularly I would like to highlight that inland waterway transport in riverine sections above Narayanganj and Dhaka to Brahmaputra and to Meghna are facing significant challenges because this is a highly sediment-loaded river, and because of that, river course changes very frequently, and the dredging section can be filled up with the silt roads. So this is we really need to address these technical challenges as well, together with these logistical challenges. And then we have an opportunity to learn from the historic development of navigation channel development by, also combining the, inland water ports facilities with river stabilization revetments. Next slide, please. So if you look at the history of Mississippi and the Rhine and the Danube rivers, they also faced a lot of siltation and river erosion and river course changes. But they did this providing the revetment structures and gradually stabilize the river course. And then today, those rivers are really the main channel for inland waterway transport. Next slide, please. And this is, next slide, please. And this is a Chinese experience. You know, Yellow River has a similar character with Assam's Brahmaputra shifting river course. But doing this bend control, they have been successfully able to stabilize the river channel. Next slide, please. So in this context, ADB, together with World Bank, is undertaking several important projects for river stabilization or embankment, the revetment works. So Bangladesh side has, I think, almost 90 kilometers have been stabilized. And in Assam, ADB is providing assistance to provide max up to 90 kilometers. And in Bangladesh, there's a technical studies going on to stabilize the Jamuna section of the rivers. Next slide, please. So I just would like to, my final words will suggestion, next slide, please. Sorry. So there's a huge opportunities for enhancing collaboration of inland waterways transport and river management agencies within and between Bangladesh and India. And scope may include scoping and planning of long-term river channel stabilization, covering the important waterways 2 and say 16, and coordinating ongoing river erosion protection and IWT fairway management works to augment the impacts. And finally, there's a scope for a focus study to priority routes on opportunities, issues, and actions for cargo enhancement. So these are potential areas that, opportunities that policymakers and the government may work together, and also development partners. Thank you very much.